Hey guys, thank you very much for joining another Marketplace Skillbridge. Hope everybody's had a great week so far. So let's jump into it. As always, we're going to see what's needed in order to get activated in the marketplace. What do you need to be a top rated? And finally, a top rated plus. So let me quickly share screens and show you guys the marketplace. So, set. All right, as you guys can see, under candidates, first one, we'll check out Edwin. Edwin does not have a top-rated badge. Let me zoom in just a bit. So Edwin does not have a top-rated badge. Juan Pablo does. Let's see what the difference is. Senior Sales Development Rep, SDR, 6+ years of outbound and SaaS prospecting experience. Great. So this is a good example of a title. Experienced sales and business development manager, 10+ years driving strategic growth and client relationship across LATAM. Also a good title. So I know that Edwin was working on his title recently. He has an About Me section. All right. Want to go quickly over to the work experience. So sales rep, sales manager, sales rep. He's listed a few, and I'd say, yeah, there's some good experience to the details that he's listing on each experience, right? So let's check out. All right, awesome. So I'm gonna quickly share screens and check out his video. I actually have his YouTube video handy. Give me a second. All right. Let's check out Edwin's video. And the reason, he has the background worked on is because he's a top-rated, guys. If you guys are a top-rated plus, you will be getting the team to work on your video, right? Keep that in mind.
Hi, good day. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Edwin. I talk about myself, what I can do for you and your organization to bring some opportunities to the table. First, I have built my career in outbound sales for the past 6 years. I'm very comfortable on the phone, talking to decision makers, vice presidents, directors, managers, or the person that you talk to understand their needs, identify some pain, and push a demo. That's my main goal. I will pass the lead to the account executive, whoever is in the demo. Depends what I'm doing.
So quick parentheses there. The video is he's well dressed, right? He's dressed to impress. It's under 2 minutes. So he's worked on certain things. So we definitely will be awarding him that top rated badge. So we will be doing that shortly. Give me just 1 second. And we'll do that in a second. Share screens. Great. So going back to the profile, what's needed in order to be activated? So guys, you need a professional picture. Headshot is preferred. Make sure that you have a title. Don't just put the role that you're looking forward to or the role that you've previously held. Make sure that you guys are placing some type of positioning statement, some type of, how many years you've worked in what industries, what type of tools you've used, but don't just put a role. Do anything else besides putting role. Make sure that you put an About Me section. A paragraph to a paragraph and a half, maybe even 2 is preferred. If you're putting a sentence or 2, you're checking the box to get activated, but not top rated. Keep that in mind. Work experience. If you don't list any work experience, that's your digital resume. So you're not going to be activated in the marketplace. Make sure you have listed the most recent and relevant, right? Even if you have over 10, 12, 15, 20 years of experience, I would say the most relevant recent in your remote work environment those are the ones you should really prioritize over. All right. Moving forward, the video. Guys, the video is the most important thing. If not, I would say it was the most important thing. The reason for that, it's where you're projecting. It's where you're able to express, your previous experience, what type of industries you worked for, how confidently are you able to project? Are you going to represent that organization the same way? And of course, your English level. You need to be well aware that if you have a B1, right, B1 English level, you will be activated. If you have lower than a B1, we will, we will invite you to continue working on your English, and we will be able to share some tips and advice on general remote work. But at the end of the day, individuals that have a B2 and above English level are the ones that are getting, interviews, therefore offers, and getting hired by these companies. So make sure that you don't just do one video, you do a second take, third take, fourth or fifth. And finally, when you feel comfortable, that's the one that you upload. You can share it with the team. You could share it with Blue, with Arturo, David, Mateo, and we will give you some feedback. But at the end of the day, guys, the effort you guys put forth is what's going to earn you that top rated badge. If you have an English level above a B2, you're closer to that top rated badge, but all the other checkboxes need to be clicked off on. And again, you have to put forth your effort. One sentence work experience descriptions are not going to cut it. So that's the difference between activation and top rated. Top rated plus, you need to have a C1 English level or above, right? So that's the one that's clicked off as near native, right? So you might have lived, you know, either in the States or Australia. You lived in the UK. You lived outside of your native country, and you've acquired some good English skills. So near native or C1 advanced is what you would need for a top rated plus, and then basically profile completion and years of experience. If you have 4+ years of experience in the roles that you're looking for, then you are closer to that top rated plus. And if, like Edwin, right? We were sharing Edwin, the gentleman that's going to get his top rated badge in just a few seconds. If you have worked on your profile, you have a new video, you've uploaded, the best professional headshot ever, and you believe you deserve that top rated or top rated plus badge, make sure you reach out to us. Finally, what that allows you to do is apply directly to these opportunities. So instead of being reactive, you'll be able to look out and see which job opportunities based on the role, the responsibilities, the monthly base or commissions, and be able to apply directly. So that's the main benefit to the badge, of course. But let's check out. Want to move over to a success story. So we're going to be looking at Maria's interview with Lee, right? So this was a positive interview in the sense of Lee, made an offer to Maria. And yeah, want to be able to share that, break it down with you guys, and see how there's a trend in most interviews. Let's check it out. Make sure we are sharing with computer sound. All right. And here we go. Of course. Let me go straight here. So it seems that Maria and Lee were on before, right? Kors jumped on, I guess, a little bit later because she mentions, hey, I can hear you now, Lee. So I guess he was having a few audio issues. As you guys know, if an interview is booked at 11 a.m. Eastern, you're on time if you get there at a 10:50, 10-minute mark, 15 minutes. Kudos to you. 20 minutes. Hey, you're definitely on the right path. But if you guys are getting there right on time, I'd say you're cutting it a bit short. You might have forgot to grab your charger. Internet might have gone out. You might need to jump on your phone because something's going on with your computer. So just be sure that you're prepared and you guys are joining early. So 11 a.m., get there at 10:50. So seems they were there early. Seems there was a tech issue. Maybe it was a mic issue. Regardless, let's check it out.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Maria. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You see me okay? Hear me okay?
Yes, I can now.
Good, good. Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining and playing. So yeah, I was very impressed with your experience that I've seen on your CloudTask profile.
In a sec, but no worries, it happens.
So yeah, please meet to discuss that.
Yes, I was super excited to have this conversation with you. So yes, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll tell you a little bit about our reach lead to start, and then we'll go over your experience.
Right. It's first tell me a little bit about your experience and then tell me what you've learned about outreach, Lee. But in this case, Lee has done a little bit of research on Maria. He checked out her profile. That's why, hence the importance of creating a very complete and detailed profile, because some hiring companies, if not most, are actually going through the video. They're looking at the tools you've used. They're looking at the about me section. They're looking at the previous work experience. What type of tools were you using there? What type of success story what type of success were you running into there? So keep all that in mind. In this specific situation, Lee's going to explain more about his company, right? So I am going to fast forward a little bit more to where Maria is expressing her experience. So let me quickly go into that. That's him speaking about his, the pricing point. And
On the next call, I'll ever give you a bit more detail. Your experience?
Yes, for sure. So I can tell you about me. I'm 31 years old. I live in Medellin, Colombia. I've been working as an SDR and account executive for over the past 10 years. So I do have really good experience. I've been doing more like account executive plus onboarding, since what I've been doing, for example, in my last experience, I had to close the deals. I was actually doing prospecting. I was booking the demo, I was closing the deal, and I was taking care of my own customers. So I was doing all roles together.
Sound like me? Sound like
Yeah,
me?
it was
That's
actually really
Spendhound.
funny. It's Spendhound, yes. It was at a Spendhound. It is a vendor management platform. So I actually had a really good time. We had SDRs booking leads for us as well. But since I had a really big, like high quota, I started to do it by myself. So to do my own prospect.
And is this Spendhound?
Yes, a Spendhound is a
Yeah.
vendor management platform.
So vendor management, so you put all your suppliers on there and it works out the savings and things like that.
Yes, you connect your ERP, like your accounting software, and then
right there. So that was a good intro, right? Elevator pitch, whatever it is you want to call it, right? Maria was able to introduce her previous experience in a clear, concise way, so much that he wanted to focus and actually ask a few more questions and piggyback on her experience at Spendhound, right? So let's check that out.
Yeah.
Spendhound is going to let you know all of the software subscriptions that you have, when it's coming the renewals, and it's going to give you also price benchmarking data.
Yeah. Okay.
The
So
platform is free, so that's a big point.
yeah. Oh, how did the demo process go? What was the sales cycle?
Yes. So as soon as I got a demo from my SDR, because I was able to book it myself, I had to jump on a demo, introduce myself, do a little pre-qualification to understand how they were tracking and managing software subscriptions, if they had any type of renewal reminder or anything. Then after the discovery session, to understand their challenges and where we can go and fit there, I introduced myself. I gave like an overview of Spendhound, and then I shared the screen so I could show like a little deck of our solution with why we're free, a little bit of history about the platform, and then I shared the screen to show a Spendhound, like a demo of a Spendhound. How does it look like?
Okay.
Yes.
And that was all on one call.
Yeah, I was in one call. Sometimes you could close in one call if it was the decision maker and it was the admin of the ERP. If not, then my definitely was like a follow up. Okay, so let me know, what do you think? What are your thoughts? And I would love to set next steps if you're interested, or if we need to involve anybody else on the call. And then I was doing the follow ups and then closing the deal later.
Okay.
So we're 10 minutes in through the interview, right? And they're discussing a little bit more about what she would actually be doing over for leave if she got the job, right? So this is something also you guys need to be well aware. Make sure you're looking at the job post that we're sharing. Make sure that you guys are checking out the company website, right? That way you're able to make it relate to what you've done previously, to what you could potentially do for his or her company. So that's something that If you're not doing as well, make sure that your research is there. Make sure that you're checking out the job post. If you understand that you're going to be onboarding new clients, you're going to be presenting a demo, some type of deck, then you're going to be able to, present yourself in a way better way. Questions that are coming on from Lee are more going on that experience, because again, he's interested in the fact that, hey, okay, so how long were the sales cycle for? What were you doing there exactly? She's basically stating she was doing full sales cycle, right? So let's hear a little bit more. But so far, you see that the interview seems it's inclined towards Maria's favor, right? As far as getting a potential offer.
And so was that like a video call using Zoom or Google Meet or something like that?
Yes, some link all the
Yeah.
time, like video calls all the time.
Yeah. Okay. And then you mentioned you had a high target. What's the price point of this?
It's free.
How much it cost? Oh, it's free.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
When I tell you it's free, maybe you're gonna think, oh, it's easy to sell. It's not at all, because your data is exposed. So when you connect your ERP, when you connect your accounting software, you give permission to SpendHound to use your software spend to build reports that we sell to other investors. So when you tell that to a CFO, they're not happy about that.
No. All right. Okay. So, and what was your quote? You said you had a quota there. What was that?
But so the people that I was selling to, my quota, I'm sorry. So I have to sell you 8 a month. 8 a month.
8 a month. Yeah, it's
Yes.
two a week. And did you hit that?
Yes. Actually, I was
Yeah.
able to hit 11, 12.
Yeah. Okay. And what happened? How come you're no longer there?
Yes. So the issue is that for the last 3 months, I had some issues with my commissions and my clients. And I was like presenting that to my manager. He didn't give me any solution. And when it comes to my commissions, super strict, because that's the reason why I work with sales. And so even though I spoke to him, I didn't get any solution. And then I went to spoke to his manager, because I wanted to understand why I was I was not getting paid for the full amount of customers I was closing. I think he didn't like it. And then we started to have a really bad relationship. And the last month, I definitely didn't like it. And one day I said to him, and he said, like, the doors are open for you in case you don't like it. And yeah, I understood that was not the right place for me.
Right. Okay. And how did the commission work there? Or how should it have worked?
Yeah, so the commission per every sale was 200, but if you were able to get to your quota 8, then after the number 8, you get paid at 400 every sale. So it was a good EOZ, yes.
USD. Yeah. So it's quite simple, but it didn't pay out.
Exactly. So I passed the 8 sales for more than 2 months, and I didn't get paid like the extra.
Right. Okay. All right. And then prior to this, you were with Deal.
I worked with Deal, the payroll platform.
Yeah, it's just Deal.
Yes. So I worked with
cool.
them for a little bit more than 4 years. So I started as an SDR, then I was an SDR team leader, and then account executive. So it was a long trip for me. I had a really good time with Deal. And actually I was able to, I do the same, like book my own leads and close my own sales. So with them, yes, totally. It is a price. It depends on how many international contractors you have. And my quota was $3,000 a month, like 3,000 UC a month to sell. So for example, per international contractor is 49. So you could close a deal with 100 international contractors and you can make just your quota. Or you can close a lot of deals with only 1 or 2 international contractors. So exactly. It was for revenue, MRR. And I left the company.
Well, that's similar to outreach. I mean, you could sell 1 seat, speak to a company who's done 1 seat, or you could spend more time working a larger company like Bloomberg and get.
So going to make a quick pause there, guys. So as you can see, one of the tough questions that always come up on an interview are, why are you no longer there? If things were so successful, things were going great, why aren't you there anymore? So the best thing to do is always tell the truth, but the way that you project or the way that you express yourself, I think goes a long way, right? Kind of like the saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So make sure you take a second. Don't let your ADHD like mine get the best of you and answer right away. I'd say take a second. Hey, yeah, no, I mean, the main reason why I'm no longer there are, we weren't seeing eye to eye with the commission structure. They had already, we had already signed off on X, and that wasn't, being held on their part of the deal. So I started looking for new opportunities, right? Less emotion is always going to be best. But I would always say, tell the truth for sure, but no need to feel so comfortable with the interviewer that now you're like, I really hate how they were talking to me and I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't really want to do outbound calls anymore. And you're interviewing for, outbound calls. So just think about it for a second before you answer. And then secondly, Lee's asking now about her previous work experience, right? So very well done on his end. Most companies won't actually even share screens and put it right in front of you. Like, okay, so this is where you're working. Now tell me about them. So also well done on Maria's end, being able to, go straight into that experience over at Deal, how she scaled from SDR to account executive at the end. But I know there were 3 roles, right? So keep that in mind. You guys should have some sort of format in your mind on how you want to express that work experience. Let it be flowing naturally or question by question like Lee's doing, right? I know if you guys have joined before Salman's interview, he was able to, basically grab the mic and explain his last 3 to 4 work experiences, I think in a matter of 3 to 4 minutes. But in this situation, Lee's the one that's sharing screens, asking, okay, you worked at Deal. Tell me a little bit about that work experience. So well done there. It's 14 minutes and the interview is 31 minutes. So we're halfway there. Now I'm going to fast forward towards the end. This is where, again, the impacting question that you guys should ask at the end of an interview is more, right, of if it hasn't projected, like, let's say Maria, that it looks like it's moving forward, then this is the good opportunity where you can ask, are there any next steps? I am interviewing elsewhere. I'm trying to make my best option. I'm trying to, choose my best option by the end of this week, by Monday next week, right? So keep that in mind. Let's see how the closing was.
A little bit, and just let me know when we do presentation so I can actually tag and study a little bit.
Unless you've got any quick questions, I've got another call right now, so I need to go. Unless you've got any quick questions. Yeah.
No, just send me the presentation so I can actually tag and study a little bit, and just let me know when we do the next presentation.
Yeah, great. And I'll follow up with Daniel and get that booked in.
Awesome. Perfect. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Maria.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And that was it. So then the second part, right? She did ask, hey, no, just let me get that presentation, because the second part is a second round interview where now she is presenting the information he's going to be sharing, right? A small deck about his company, and that's what's moving forward. So now let's move on to the do's and don'ts. Let's move on to what you should do during the interview, what you shouldn't do, and then finally a few do's for those of you that are getting reactivated in the marketplace. I know a lot of you guys are passively looking, or you're no longer in your organization and you're actively looking, but you need to update your profile, right? We don't have any work experience. You still have a great video, but we don't have a work experience listed. So we'll get into that in just a second. So some do's. We mentioned a few, and I think we saw it on this interview with Maria. Make sure you're early. Make sure you're early on the interviews, right? Make sure you guys are joining early. Make sure you guys are dressed to impress. Maria was also dressed nicely. She chose a good background, right? She made sure it wasn't where someone can walk back and forth behind her. She wants to make sure that she's representing where she'll be potentially working for them, right? So keep that in mind when you guys are taking this interview. Now, going over to don't reschedule just because you're caught up in traffic is my recommendation. Unless it's an emergency. But again, rescheduling an hour before an interview is not seen professional unless it's an emergency. And again, you guys will be the judge to what is an emergency, what's urgent, what's not. Did I just forget? Right? So we are just the messenger as the CloudTask Marketplace. We will share the reason why you need to reschedule. But again, if it's an hour or less, I would definitely recommend take the call. You're stuck in traffic, take the call from your cell phone. Let that be known. Address the elephant in the room. Hey, Mateo, I'm sorry, I'm taking the call from the car. I'm in an Uber on my way home, but I got caught up in traffic. But hey, I wanted to make sure I was able to meet you guys, and then take it from there. So I would highly recommend that. And then turning on that camera. Make sure you guys have that camera. If you're working, if you're taking the call from a laptop and the camera's not working, be resourceful. Turn on the video from your phone, right? From the camera on your phone, and join as well. That way you can mute yourself on either or. So a few other do's. Make sure that you do some research. If you go to an interview without the basic knowledge of what they do, let it be if they're a product or service, what industry they're in, what type of customer they're reaching out to, it's not going to be a good interview. In this specific case, Lee wanted to express what his company was about because he did some prior research about Maria. But 90% of the time, they will ask you, hey, what do you know about us? What did you research about us? I'm assuming you did some research. So some people get really nervous and believe they need to become subject matter experts. You guys just need to understand what it is they do in a sentence or two, and make sure you ask them, hey, am I on the right path? And then they're probably going to tell you no, or yeah, you're actually, that's basically what we do. So make sure you guys research about a company before you get on the interview. Make sure you have one or two impacting questions, right? Maria kind of noticed that she's already moving on to the second phase. So her question was more, no, I'll just be waiting for the presentation, doc, so I can, do some homework, do some studying, and then make sure that we can have another second interview, right? Where she'll now present the information. So make sure that you guys are finishing assessments, assignments, anything that is given to you after the first interview. You're not the only person being interviewed through the marketplace and outside of the marketplace. Hiring companies are using the marketplace, and they're probably, using other sources as well. So make sure that you keep that competitive spirit going. I know you guys are busy. Some of you guys are currently working. If you're not working, again, you're the judge on how urgent you need a job. But if you are interviewing and there's an assignment given to you, I would highly recommend you work on it quickly. Quality over quantity for sure. So make sure you work on it, and it's a very good assignment being given. But at the end of the day, there's other people doing it as well. So make sure you guys are prompt with those assignments. Let's see some other don'ts. I mean, we recommend don't negotiate base salary and commissions on the first interview, right? Because it's kind of, let's make sure I get to the second interview. Let's make sure I get to the assignment level. Now, if the question comes up, what are you looking as far as a comp plan? Let it be base, commissions, XYZ. Be prepared, right? Be prepared with the answer, and don't just shoot a number. It should have some reason to it, right? And yeah, that's definitely a recommendation. Don't voluntarily use one of those impacting questions as far as, hey, what's the base going to look at? What's the base budget with you guys? Because you have the job post, you have a range, and we recommend, once again, once you get to that second interview, that's a better place for you to be able to bring that up and negotiate. All right. Finally, guys, so do's. I'm just gonna stick to do's. If you're actively looking and you've previously had a profile in the marketplace, or this is the first time, make sure you just don't put a picture and a title, right? And leave it there for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and expect to get interview requests. So just by having a picture, that's not going to be enough, as we mentioned, to be activated. So you're not even active. In order to be activated, you need that professional picture, that headshot. It needs to be you. No family reunions. It's not you at graduation. Most recent pictures would be best, right? And the most professional. If you're using some AI, hey, all power to you. A title needs to be impacting. All right. We can help you out with that if you're not feeling, yeah, I don't know. If you're not feeling, like you can motivated enough to find out what impacting title you'd like, or use a little AI. Also the about me section, but most importantly, work experience and your video. The work experience, if it's not listed, we're helping you guys by adding one. But again, if you're asking for 2K to 3K to 4K to 5K, and you've listed one work experience, it's just not cutting it. So make sure you guys are putting forth your effort and moving forward. So to finalize, if we do have any, questions, we'll go to our Q&A session. If not, wanted to, drop a few more, what would be updates. Yeah, updates about the marketplace, and of course about our boost program and our referral program. But yeah, I don't see that. If there's any other questions, go straight into it. So referral program, as you guys know, you guys can passively, make some money. If you do speak English and you're in our marketplace looking for a job, great, another source of income. If you found out about the marketplace, but you don't speak English, you're still a B1 or lower, you will be able to join, our referral program. And again, refer not only candidates, but hiring companies. And yeah, we'll share more about that. And then for the boost program, if you are top rated plus, you will be able to join our boost program, which is basically we're enabling you with the technology so you could do your own outbound to hiring companies, right? Attracting them to your profile. Again, pushing further, you getting hired. So that would be the boost program. You'd need your verification badge on LinkedIn. You'd need the 2FA authentication, and you also need the top rated plus badge on the marketplace. Top rated or top rated plus, one of the two. Guys, thank you very much for joining, and have a great rest of the week.